Hello and welcome to gaming and welcome to another eFootball update. The new gameplay trailer video has just landed a couple of hours ago via Gamescom. It's all over social media now. And the community, or I should say former community, because it seems like most people that enjoyed Pro Evolution Soccer will not be playing eFootball, but they're still, passing comment on social media and things, and they're not particularly happy still. So we're going to go through what we saw during the trailer, break it down, I'll give my own thoughts, and I'd like to hear yours in the comments below. Let's get into it! So firstly, before we start properly getting into it, I just want to say overall the sort of presentation from Konami here is, in my opinion, quite amateurish, quite lacking. I don't know if they took offence from the previous release where they had a guy doing the voiceover, when most people criticised the voiceover artist in that release, and that's why they decided to make this choice. But instead of having somebody read out the information that they're wanting to present to us, it's all presented in like text. It's kind of like a Star Wars scroll at the start of the video, and it's in like this yellow font that's really hard to read against the background of like the gameplay that's going on. And then beyond that, the rest of the trailer has white text at the bottom describing what they want to tell us. Now that's fine, but I'm not here to read a book. You know, I don't want to have to read reams and reams of text when I want to know about this game. So just get a voiceover guy. I don't care if people didn't like the last one, just use him again. It doesn't particularly matter, just so long as I can sit and watch what they're describing to me rather than having to read the text at the bottom of the screen. So a little bit of a gripe to start with. So we get a lot of things about the controlling the dribbling and the touch of the player. Apparently PS5 users will get the haptic feedback and the adaptive trigger functions, although it does state in the text below the main text, available in a future update, which is something that we have to get used to, because it seems like a lot of features will not be available from the launch. They're going to be things added in. When will they be added in? We don't know. Will they definitely be added in? Because we've seen, companies in the past do this kind of thing and then never actually get around to doing what they say they're going to do. Hopefully that isn't going to be the case with eFootball. So tricking the defender is the next part, and this is basically showing off the different feints and things that players will be able to do during the 1v1 duels. It's all about 1v1 duels, and I have to say, although I was slightly negative on the gameplay that we did get to do in the online beta test thing, I did like the dribbling. That was one key part of the game that I did enjoy. So if that is as good or improved upon, then that is going to be something that I will enjoy. There's some new kind of like jockeying defensive maneuvers that they show off to steal the ball back. I'm not sure how well that will translate. Again, it'd be something to try as you play. They show off some physical battles while defending. Players will put their bodies in between the ball and the attacking player. Now that's all well and good, but we have had something similar in past Pro Evolution Soccers, where defenders will basically just go into a defensive stance instead of actually doing what you want them to do, and it was quite game ruining for me actually. It was really annoying at times when your defender would just snap to a defensive kind of blocking technique rather than just getting on with what I wanted them to do. So if it's an automatic thing, I'm not sure how well that's going to be implemented. I'd rather it was something that we can control. Now I do know in the online test you could click, I think it was L2, to get defenders to do that. So, and it didn't quite work brilliantly, but at least it was a decision left to the player rather than being an automatic function. Perform a sharp kick available in a future update. I don't really understand this. A sharp kick along with new animations will make the game even more technical and exciting. It just looks like a kick. I don't understand what the difference is there. It just looks like a long ball to me. With perks come some drawbacks when this action takes more time. Yeah, I don't really understand. It just looks like a kick. So I don't know how that's different. Focus on duels. So as we said, the 1v1, this is what they're all about. And I will admit that it's one aspect that I really did like the look of. You know, they've used Iniesta for a lot of this over the years anyway, not just this year, but show a lot of footage that we've already seen. Enhanced team play styles and new controls. Play styles are a vital part of football. So this is the tactics, and actually this is another positive section from me. They give us a little bit of a breakdown about how all of the different play style tactics work on field. They show how the team is set out, and I think this is quite handy really. We see the menus as well. The menus very colourful, very bright, and quite basic actually, but here we go. It shows you how the tactics work. So you see here with the out wide one how the players move into positions, and you'll see on the opposite flank the left midfielder, I think, or the left winger is really making use of that width. That's pretty cool to see in action. Quick counter, player wins the ball back. The attacking players immediately turn to move into space, and it should be a goal here. There is a goal. The long ball, it shows you that the target man moves towards the ball and the players run off of him into space. Possession game shows you the Barcelona team sort of squidged together, presenting options. The long ball counter, you can see that the two banks of four are pretty together. The right back comes out a little bit there. The ball's won back, and the players then move forward into position for the long ball counter, although it wasn't a long ball. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I quite like that. Just a little breakdown of how those tactics works, because actually as a long time Pro Evolution Soccer, ISS, eFootball, whatever you want to call it, player, the tactics side of it is only something that I've recently really got into in the last couple of years playing the game on stream, and yeah, seeing a breakdown of how that works is definitely handy. Another positive coming up from me, so I'm not totally 100% negative on eFootball like some members of the community. The new camera duel. So the camera here is adaptive. It zooms in for the one-on-one duels, and then it will move back out as the ball is spread wide. Quite like that. Quite interesting adaptive camera. And they just speak of some general improvements. New motion matching system creates natural fluid player movements. Again, this is more of the Iniesta stuff. Ball movement became even more realistic thanks to a partnership with a research institute. They don't tell us which research institute. There's a seamless restart system apparently, non-stop action. So no longer will we have to wait for the ball to come back into play. Things get moving quick. That seems pretty cool as well. Now the one thing that seems to have griped the community the most is eFootball evolves alongside the community. Lots of the community have been giving suggestions to Konami for years, and they feel their feedback hasn't been received. And for them to put this as the closing segment of the trailer, keep an eye out for updates and development in eFootball. Yeah, that seems to have pissed off a lot of the community. So overall, my thoughts on the eFootball gameplay trailer from Gamescom. As I say, the presentation is a bit lacking. They've put some stills out as well on Twitter that are quite amateurish. The referee in one of the stills has a linesman flag in his hand. Things like that, Konami never quite get right. I know in the previous trailer we saw some of their text went from capitalized to lowercase as well. So, you know, a little bit amateurish from a massive games company. But there are a few things that I like, as mentioned during my little reaction there. So it'll be interesting to see how much of these things are going to be there from launch. The worrying thing is the star available in future update. That is a real concern going into the launch of this game, because the problem is with games these days, people still aren't used to this whole like staggered release thing. You know, a game comes out, people play it, they want it to play the best it possibly can on launch, and if you're going to stagger how it plays and release updates and patches throughout the year, by then people might already be turned off of your game from the initial outing. So it needs to be decent enough from the off before they add things in. And the other thing, the flip side of that is, as you add things in, you're totally changing the game as well. So people that play it from the off and they get used to the way a game plays, when you add an update, it brings new elements into it and it throws off your play base. So it's a little bit worrying from what we're seeing in that sense. But there are a few things that I did like. I want to know what you guys think. I know, as I said, the community still doesn't seem particularly happy. But let me know in the comments how you feel after seeing this eFootball official gameplay trailer. And I was hoping that they were going to launch the game at Gamescom. I was hoping they were going to say it's available now. No launch date mentioned. I've not seen one yet. Let me know if there is one out there. But yeah, it should be in a few weeks now. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think in the comments.